In the first top, we will be exploring when and why specific clans or deck archetypes achieved top tier status. For this video, we will be looking at Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion, the Blood. Narukami's debut into the game in Japan showed off Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion as its main vanguard. While Vermilion was a decent deck on release, it was generally overshadowed by the other top decks at the time, mainly Dragonic Overlord at the end, Majesty Lord Blaster, and Tsukiyomi. While it did get some tops, it was definitely not the top pick of the format. At least, not until it got its new incredible support. The December 2012 Japanese ban list. This ban list hit all the top 3 decks into oblivion, paving the way for the new updated decks in Set 9 to dominate. In Set 9, Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion would get an upgrade called the Blood. The Blood would give the deck an incredible new ability that would change the way the deck was played forever. It got 2,000 more power. It achieved cross-ride status. If you weren't playing back in the old days, 13,000 power Vanguards was the real deal. Common Vanguard powers back then was either 10,000 or 11,000 power, meaning that hitting these special numbers didn't require much effort if your deck was full of effect units. Part of the reason why Majesty Lord Blaster and Dragonic Overlord the End could dominate was that they had unnatural Vanguard powers, 12,000 and 13,000 power respectively. This meant that you needed to construct your deck in a way in order to hit these magic numbers better. Well, against an 11,000 power Vanguard, your deck could be full of 9,000 power grade 2s and 7,000 power grade 1s. Against the cross-ride decks, you needed to at least run vanilla grade 2s and 1s instead. Making your deck hit 18,000 power or more was incredibly important, unless you wanted your cross-ride opponent to always have the edge when it comes to guarding attacks. One of the plays in the Limit Break era was controlling your opponent's damage. Limit Break decks were able to unlock amazing skills when they reached certain damage thresholds, the common one being 4 damage. Set 9 released new Limit Break cards called Ultimate Break. These effects would unlock at 5 damage instead, and were totally... very, very good. However, the Blood added a totally different dimension to the Vermilion deck. If your opponent rushed you, you could just ride Vermilion and activate its Limit Break skill, wiping out their front row. However, if your opponent decided to play it slow, you could just ride up and achieve cross-ride status, gaining the defensive power that would last the rest of the game. Oh, and that Ultimate Break skill? Yeah, don't worry too much about that one, okay? To make a tasty cake taste even better, Narukami also had access to back row retire. This was one of the key reasons why the End was so dominant, able to achieve cross-ride status and then being able to disrupt your opponent's setup. That 8k vanilla that is enabling your opponent's 10ks and higher front row units to attack your Vanguard efficiently? Yeah, let's just get rid of that. It also had something unique that could make it effective against other cross-ride decks as well. Photon Bomber Wyvern. This Vanguard booster allowed Narukami Vanguards to hit cross-ride numbers without much difficulty. This made the Blood have a relatively favorable cross-ride matchup. It had efficient retires if it stayed on Vermilion. It had 23k Vanguard columns, which other cross-ride decks were not able to achieve, and also had field disruption. This trifecta made the deck achieve results in the Japanese metagame for, like, one event. This was the New Year's tournament in 2013. This was held in both Tokyo and Osaka, and the Blood would post results in multiple blocks in both cities. Unfortunately, this was also the only time the deck reached a meta status. The time Set 9 was released was in a period where there were hardly any official events, and after the number 9 comes the number 10. And the Set 10 support for Narukami? Let's just say it probably deserves a separate video for that. It was bloody broken. You get it? Yeah? Bloody, the Blood? Yeah? Where the Blood actually saw more success was in the English meta. The sets in English were released in a different order, and it turns out that 11 was released after 9. This means that the Blood had more time to shine, allowing it to post a lot of results during the English World Championship regional qualifiers in 2013. And with that, that's the quick history of the Blood. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the Blood, and if there were any other firsts you would like me to cover.